they don't have the friendships they used to have.
Yeah.
It's like Corona.
Corona, yes, yeah.
The people who took a vaccination and the people who didn't take a vaccination.
Divided,
There was a divide,
true,
yeah.
true.
So
That's what they did the Pope.
So it's not just religion then, isn't it? It's this corona. It's even when somebody in your family.
They don't believe in religion anymore. They believe in things like vaccination or not vaccination.
Yes, very good.
And those.
We're just here to protect. I'm a bodyguard for you. Yeah, they became famous.
It's
now.
true. You're absolutely right.
Those, wie heißen die Leute, die mit auf Instagram, die Leute da, die halt folgen. They believe in influencer or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, material.
Yeah.
People, they believe.
And the thing is that when it comes to when
It's gonna be on YouTube. Anyway.
because what you're saying
give
is
you the channel.
what you're saying is true, and people need to hear this because people talk too much about fashion, music, movie. There needs to be more discussion about how to come together. That's so true. Because some people claim that religion finished, but like you rightly said, religion is not finished. People are replacing religion with friends, with family, with money, with influencers, with celebrities. TikTok, yeah, everyone wants to be an influencer on TikTok. So, you believe in God?
Yeah, she does.
You believe in, what do you believe about Jesus? That Jesus is God? You believe he's a prophet?
Yeah, I think you could say it's a prophet.
Yeah, what do you believe about Jesus?
Yeah, I think he was sent to us for the things he had to teach to the people.
So we also believe that.
I mean,
Tomorrow after tomorrow,
it's said that he's the Son of God,
and you will come
like
to you.
everybody who was sent to the earth is a Son of God or a daughter of God.
Okay, so with Son of God, you believe Son of God means someone sent by God?
Yeah, and
Yes, this is
everybody
do subscribe.
is a son or daughter.
This is for me? Okay. So you believe he sent for everybody, yeah?
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I think it had a purpose that he was sent in that time.
There's
to,
so many
and
channels.
in that place of the earth. You know, and I
Let's
think
feed
that
ours,
in all
they
the
all have
different areas,
But if you follow Zishan, his
when
name,
time
Zishan, his
is
channel,
ripe again, somebody will be sent
you will
to
have
convert
this one,
people again to their true,
they all the channels, those that will come up.
like, to their true sending. To
And ponder about it.
So we also believe as Muslims that God is only one. Yeah, we don't believe
Yeah,
that.
and I believe that the God in Buddhism and in
You
all
don't have
religion
any
is always the same God.
You understand?
And people,
Especially when people
you know, it's like they start fighting about and, you know, it's like
Guys, the answer to everything is Jesus, guys.
you grow up
Just
in a family and your wife grows up in a family. Then you move together, and then when you move together, you find out your wife is doing things differently than you were taught in your family to do those things. And then you start fighting. Why? Because both are fighting to protect their families and how they grew up. And it's a little bit stupid.
Yeah, no. So what?
I mean, not stupid in that case, but it's for nothing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
This is just called me stupid.
That's what I
No
thought.
discount for that you can do.
No, this is what I thought before, and I knew before.
I know.
And when you go, like you said, when you go back to when you are a little child, you have everything in you. You know about right, and you know what is not right. And when you can act like this for the rest of your life, then I think then we will have freedom.
You take this mic.
But it's not the purpose what we came here for. So everybody, every soul was sent to this. Every soul was sent on this earth to learn something they haven't learned before. And so you come here many, many, many times. And
What have you heard about Islam?
Not much.
I heard a lot about Islam.
Tell me, I can take it. Good or bad, no problem.
No, I think the original Islam is good, and it was, I mean, what Muhammad told or learned the people was all that made sense. Like you should not eat pork because in the desert, you know that meat from the pork gets bad very fast. So it's, I mean, it all had a purpose, and I think people should use their common sense to understand what is written in the Quran. Yeah, and what is written in all other religious books, and you have to translate it into your life. But you know, when you transform it into your life, you have to be enlightened that you use what is originally meant by what is written there. And that, I think, there is where the errors occur.
So, you've made some very good points. And as Muslims, we believe in one God. Whilst you'll have other religions believing that man can become God or things like trees can be God, Islam is the only main religion that claims to be monotheistic. Monotheistic meaning one God with no partners, no son, no daughter, no grandpa, grandma, nothing. Only one God worthy of worship, that's it. We believe the Quran is a book sent by God, the last of the books that did not get changed. All the other books you will notice,
I know.
They have been changed, the Quran.
And I also know that parts of one old original Bible had been found just, I think, in the last century.
Yeah.
And only when they inverted a technique which allows you that you can read burned papers.
Aha.
They had parts of this original
Yeah.
Bible, but it never was included.
Yeah.
After that, it was kept away for scientific researches, and I don't know if it ever found the way to Rome, to the Christian, I don't know,
To the Vatican.
leaders,
Yeah.
because I know that it never was included in the Bible, and I know myself that some parts were not correctly translated, and some words were interpreted differently.
Yes.
Also, it was the same word.
Just to serve the
power
elite,
of the church.
So when-
not
For the everyday person, yeah.
No, for the real meaning of what was written in the
But Islam is different from this in the sense that regardless of what type of Muslim you meet, all of them will say there is one God. Muhammad is the last prophet, peace be upon him. Jesus was a prophet. Moses was a prophet. There have been many prophets that have come before. The Quran is memorized from cover to cover that people can't change it to such a degree that if I was to recite something and add something in there, he will be able to correct me. Somebody else that comes will be able to correct me. If all the books are burnt, Quran is the only one that can be written word for word.
Yes.
Even in terms of
I know.
practicality, for example, out of the religions, Islam is the only one that has a clear-cut verse against racism. Where in the last speech of the Prophet, he said there is no superiority of a black person over a white person over a black person. In Islam, even when it comes to respect of parents, we have an inheritance law that you have to give inheritance even to your parents as well. You don't neglect your parents. We are told that respect of parents, respect of neighbors. And you might think, people say this, but in Islam, the sayings of the Prophet, they are preserved. For example, I can tell you exactly what the Prophet said. I can translate it for you. I can tell you who I heard it from, who they heard it from, who they heard it from. I can tell you the full chain. In terms of preserving, in terms of accuracy and precision, Islam is head and shoulders above the rest. You notice the other religions, in terms of their prayer. Muslims, we have prayer to God every single day. The same way that the previous prophets prayed. For example, in the Bible it says Jesus put his head on the ground. We also, Muslims, put our head onto the ground as well. So there's a sense of humility. There's a sense of humbleness. Even when you see Muslims praying together, they are standing together shoulder to shoulder regardless of class, regardless of race. Yeah, you could be a black person, a white person, an Asian person, you could be a plumber, you could be, a leader, you could be a teacher, you could be, a builder. Everyone standing shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, and that actually would also stand or was written in the Bible. It says that everybody is equally and people don't behave like this. Even the church doesn't behave like that. When you look into the church, is a section where for the queen, for instance, or for the aristocratic people, they were seated somewhere else than the normal people.
Yeah.
So,
So you're saying they've distorted the Bible. Let me ask you a question. If today you were being honest with yourself, what would you need to understand about Islam for you to accept it? Like, what is the criteria?
I will read the book.
In terms of questions, like, what have you understood and said, this is what I need to get from Islam for me to accept it?
Tick the boxes, basically. Muslims believe in one God, you do. Tick the box.
What I would need to know is that all those radicals that the Quran would be written in there that those radicals are not right.
That's number one. What's number two?
That woman is equal to man.
Okay, what's number three? Okay.
Because I didn't come here to
Debate.
hear about religion, and so it just happened like that.
This makes it
So
better.
I didn't have anything in mind.
But this is.
The
I was
politics.
not prepared.
But you don't need to be prepared because there are certain things in our head that we know. When we prepare, it means we are adding to the discussion extra things that don't necessarily deal with the questions at hand. And the questions at hand are the two that you've mentioned now. They are the ones that are the most important to you. The others, we can talk about them later when you think about them. So number one, when you talk about radicals, bear in mind, we have something called free will. Yeah? Free will is God giving us a choice about how we live our life. We can choose to follow him, we can choose not to follow him. He gives us a book, we can choose to obey the full book, half the book, this book, that book. But when the Quran says something very simple, the one verse that you're looking for, means killing one person unjustly, it's as if you have killed an entire generation. Yeah? Killing one person for no reason, it's like killing an entire generation. Now this is why you will not see Muslims generally if there are people killing innocent people, you will not see Muslims agreeing with that. I will give you one example. One example is, for example, is what Israel is doing. Yeah. So Israel, one verse that they use from the Torah is Amalekites. Yeah, and they give the example of the Amalekite, and the verse of the Amalekite is you are allowed to kill children and infants as well. Yeah. So what my question is, there is no such verse like this in the entire Quran or the tradition of Islam that you can kill a child. Yeah, that you can kill an infant. Because in that, I can give you the reference. In that reference, the first book of Samuel, yeah, chapter 15, verse 2, I think that's what it is. It talks about the Amalekites. In Islam, and in that verse rather, it says you kill the cows, you kill the donkey, you kill the ox, you kill the children, the infants, the men, the women. My question is, this is not just, this is not nice. Yeah, why is this there? And why is somebody, a leader of a country, mentioning that today? And today, if you look in Israel, 50% of the people that have been killed by Israel in Gaza, the children, the women. But when you look, for example, in Islamic book, they will never say, in fact, I can give you a saying of the Prophet. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, don't kill women, don't kill children. We get that from Imam Malik. Imam Malik gets that from Nafi. Nafi gets that from Abdullah bin Umar. Abdullah bin Umar heard that from the Prophet. So, I can tell you a saying of the Prophet. I can tell you how relevant it is. I can tell you every single person that heard it in the chain. This is how we preserve the sayings of the Prophet, by memorizing the chains. We Muslims will memorize Quran, the sayings. I can even tell you the 20 ancestors of the Prophet. Why? Because for us it's a form of pride. This is the Prophet, this is his father.
And then my second question.
Yeah, so your second thing is, with your second thing is, we think for a woman to be equal to a man is disrespectful to a woman.
But I mean...
No, listen.
Okay.
It's disrespectful to women. Because a woman should not need her respect to be measured by that of a man. In certain things, a woman in Islam, they're higher than a man. In other things, the man is higher than the woman. So in Islam, we believe both man and woman are not competitive. They're not competition. They are complementary. They're like a puzzle. For example, a man, we don't believe a man becomes pregnant. Yeah, woman is the one who has been given this honor of holding the baby for 9 months. Then she breastfeeding the baby. I can't breastfeed my child. Very difficult. Yeah, in fact, impossible. I can't do this. So my wife would be higher in honor when it comes to feeding the child. She is keeping our child alive by giving milk, by holding and carrying the child. If she says, I want this, I will go to the shop. I will not say, you and me, we are equal.
Yeah.
I will say, no,
Yeah,
you are better than me.
I meant it, in that way that why are women not allowed to go to school like in Afghanistan?
Yeah. So
This is, and why do they have to hide? And why do they have to wear this burqa and you don't see,
yeah.
This is something I don't understand.
Yes, and that's fine.
And that's what I wanted to know. Is this written in the Quran? Because those Taliban regime, they behave like they act according to the Quran.
Yes. The thing is that one thing is to understand there's a difference between the country and the religion. For example, America claims to be a Christian country, but many Christians say it doesn't follow Christian values. The UK claims to be a Protestant Christian country, doesn't follow the values. Yeah. So similarly, or like in a similar vein of thought, if we take the Prophet, what did the Prophet say? The Prophet said something very simple. He said it is obligatory, not maybe you should. He said it is compulsory for man and woman to seek knowledge. Yeah, obligatory. Yeah, to seek religious knowledge. So this is a clear statement of the Prophet. Now, why is a country not following that? I am not an expert.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about religious knowledge. I'm also talking about,
Secular knowledge.
yes.
But the separation of religion and secularism only happened recently. Before, be it Christianity or Islam, there was no separation of church and state. So seeking religious knowledge would be seeking worldly knowledge. That's why if I tell you some of the biggest inventions, they were created by Muslims.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then those, in the year 1100, or when
The golden era of Islam, yes.
when the Templars, they took all the knowledge. I mean, they had good friendship with Islam.
The Greeks.
Yeah, and
Yes.
with Islam, and they learned about how to read the stars and guide ships,
Yes.
and all that knowledge they took back to Europe.
Yes.
And this is why then suddenly Portuguese was a big shipping. They knew how to guide
Yes.
ships, and they went, to America, and they suddenly were a big
Yes.
seefahrer, sailor.
Yes, they were sailors, yeah. So in Islam,
Because they had this knowledge from which was brought.
exactly. So you've proven my point that in Islam, if seeking worldly knowledge was bad, then Muslims would not, have created all of these things, and they would not be as successful. Even if, Adam Smith, who's the father of capitalism. Adam Smith, he's the father of capitalism. Western society, they respect him in one of our currencies in the UK. His picture was at the back. Adam Smith said after the fall of the Roman Empire, it was the Muslims that encouraged scientific research, astronomical research, and the likes. And that's why even the camera, you have people like Ibn al-Haytham, who created the pinhole camera. Algebra was created by Al-Khwarizmi, because of whom we have algorithms. The old map was created by Al-Idrisi. So a lot of these things. And bearing this in mind also, that one of the Prophet's wives, Aisha, was a very famous and popular scholar. She used to teach the sayings of the Prophet. Many men would come and learn from her. In fact, there is a book written by Akram Nadwi with regards to muhaddithat in Islam, meaning women that have memorized hadith and conveyed hadith in Islam, which numerate in the hundreds, if not thousands. So women learning and studying is not something that's alien to Islam. In fact, the first university, and you can Google this when you go home, the first university was created by Fatima al-Fihri. She's a Muslim, and she was from Morocco, more specifically Fez. The first university by a woman. So my question would be, if women are told not to seek knowledge, then why is the first university? That is the map for every single university on the planet. Why is it that the starting is that of a woman, somebody called Fatima al-Fihri? So then the question would then arise, then why is it that they don't do it? Well, if you look into politics and you ask some of the Taliban higher-ups, one of the reasons that they give is, we are not stopping women from learning, because there was some footage that came out a couple of weeks ago of hundreds of women graduating. So they were learning, that's why they were graduating. The reason they give is, a lot of books have come from countries that are not friendly to Afghanistan. They say the curriculum that's given to us is colonized curriculum. Because of that, we are putting things on hold and we want to change the curriculum and add our curriculum and change it, and then we will do it. Because people want us to follow their curriculum and follow liberalism, which liberalism is popular here in the West, and they want Afghanistan to follow that. They said we don't follow liberalism. So we will educate our women, but we will do it the way we want.
What would be wrong with democracy?
So democracy is something that even is not even agreed by philosophers here in the West. Plato didn't agree with democracy. Even the UK, the democracy of UK and Switzerland is different. In Switzerland you have cantons. In the UK, because I went to Switzerland as well, in the UK you have something called House of Parliament and House of Lords. House of Parliament, they are elected. The House of Lords, they are not elected.
It's from generation to generation.
It's passed on, like you like somebody as a prime minister, you bring that person on. So my question would be, which democracy? Switzerland democracy? Which democracy? Indian democracy, when Modi is coercing the media and is bullying, his party is bullying the people, that democracy? Or the democracy of Israel, where it's committing crimes and people want to get rid of Netanyahu?
I mean, democracy which represents the people in the country best and the different areas.
But let me ask you one question. Let's just say,
Always a compromise.
I understand.
And in Switzerland, religion is not is separated from government.
Yeah.
So religion is
Laicity, laicity, yeah?
yeah. So religious government is higher than religion.
Yeah, so there's a separation between, yeah.
But only, like if Muslim woman needs to wear something on her head, then she can do that. Because then it's personal, the personal freedom is higher than what the government...
I don't think so. I was in Switzerland.
The religious personal freedom is then higher.
I went to Switzerland. The face veil is banned in Switzerland. The minarets in mosques. You know, minaret.
But this is not your personal. It's like.
This is clothing. This is.
Yeah.
She wants to cover.
It's forbidden to wear something in front of your face.
No, it's not. Helmets. Motorcyclists wear helmets.
It's not forbidden to wear something on your head.
I will give you a better example. I'll give you a better example. COVID masks. Oh.
But this is because
For health. One is for health. One is for
The
safety.
health of everybody else is higher than your freedom to not wear a mask.
But this is the example. So motorcyclists
So
can
you can
cover.
take an injection and then you
take off your
you
mask.
don't. Yeah, then you
No.
don't have.
No, not really. No,
Still wear it.
you still have to
But
wear
it
it.
was wrong. It
Yeah,
was wrong at that time, and they already had the researchers that the people who made injections that they were super spreaders.
Yeah, let's not.
What about
So
the motorcycle?
yeah, so with the motorcyclists, they say it's health, yeah, or it's safety.
Yeah, it's
Motorcycle, you cover safety. When it comes to the COVID mask, they say health. Yeah.
Yeah,
When-
it was proven then that it was not good
Not really.
to wear a mask.
It was, yeah.
Because children, they had problems.
Breathe their own.
Yeah. So when it comes to these things, there's reasons, but when religious people, they say we want to cover because we want to privatize our sexuality, we want to cover ourselves, then they say this is not allowed.
Yeah, but your mouth is not something which is a sexual privacy. I mean, it's okay to wear to cover up your body, but your face should always be.
Let me ask you something. Who decides which part of the body should be covered?
The general thinking of the people.
People. So in some countries, some people decide
In Switzerland.
this.
In Switzerland.
So in Switzerland, in any country, in the UK, you can walk around in bra. Yeah? You can't show the breasts. You can't show. In Germany, if you're in a swimming pool, you can show the breasts. Yeah? Even if there's... Yeah, I know, I looked into this. It's my job. Yeah, you can. Yeah. In Germany, you can search this afterwards. In Germany, in the swimming pool, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they changed it. Because people complained. You say, which people complained? The LGBT complained. LGBT complained. Yeah, they complained. Yeah, they complained. They said, so a person with breasts, he's coming or she's coming, and somebody says, oh, cover this up. He says, why? I'm a man. So, but you have breasts. No. You're a woman. No. But I'm a man. So then LGBT become very angry. Then they say, no problem. Everybody can take it off, no problem. Search this in Germany. Yeah. Just like in Switzerland.
That's very bad.
Just like in Switzerland. Just like in Switzerland. In Switzerland, you have something called a suicide capsule.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exit.
Aha,
Where is it?
Exit. The company,
Exit.
The company is called Exit.
How much they pay?
In the UK, we say exit is when you leave the building. In Switzerland, you have exit to leave life. But this...
From Great Britain, they were coming to Switzerland to go to this.
What do you think? This is good or bad?
I think it's not good. Actually, it's not good.
But it's democracy.
No, this is not democracy. This is
Because they agreed.
It was not covered. You know, there was no law forbidding this.
No law.
Yeah. So it was like using a gap in the law.
So they're not following democracy in this.
No, it's like when you have a company, you don't need everybody in Switzerland to say, okay, you can.
But what about life and death of someone? Surely you should be asking the people if we should have suicide capsules. Surely this is one of those things. If you're talking about electing somebody and you want to ask everybody, this is the death of somebody, it's the life of somebody. Surely this requires more people to give their vote.
No, not in Switzerland.
That's the
Because
problem.
In Switzerland we have no no death, you know, like, yeah, you cannot be, you know, in the United States,
Yeah.
you have this death, if you behave very bad, you can be...
Electric chair, death penalty.
Yeah, death sentence. We don't have this in Switzerland.
Yeah, you have a death sentence as well, but your death sentence is a bit different. For example, if somebody is upset with society, maybe somebody, he drinks a little bit and then his wife leaves him, his son is unhappy with him, then he says, you know what, I need to go to the capsule, the exit. I want to go to the exit.
That you have everywhere on the whole planet. I mean,
Not sanctioned by the government. Not suicide sanctioned by the government.
if it's sanctioned, then you go under the train, or you know.
But at least it's not sanctioned by the government or through something that was elected democratically.
But when you have that problem, you just told me you cannot go to this exit company, because when you go to this exit company, you have to have a lot of checks and proofs and you know, big documentation by hospital.
But people lie. Human beings lie.
By medical people, by doctors, where it's stated, okay, they only have 3 months to live and they have a very high pain and whatever.
But people can lie. I know people here that can get forged letters from doctors. That sort of stuff is not very difficult. But here's the point.
That applies to everywhere.
No, it doesn't, because one is a death sanctioned by the government, which is a consequence of democracy. if people have picked a group of people that have said that you can kill yourself and we are okay with it, that's a problem. You should be preserving life, not helping people end life. And this is one of the problems. When people say democracy, democracy relies on people. If today we want people to live, everybody lives. If tomorrow they say maybe you can eat another human being because food is very less and we need protein and we want to become very big and strong, then
Nazi German, they can democracy.
yeah, Hitler was democratically elected. So when people accept something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good what they're accepting.
That phenomena that that people lie to you and you believe in lies, and because of this you make certain actions that you have everywhere, and it
I agree with you, but
to all areas and all.
Even with democracy, as you know, as you're aware, you said as well, the elite people, they can always manipulate the situation with the will and the means.
Or like media
To drive
Yes.
all people as a sheep mentality, and they will think.
So here's the thing though. When we're relying on human beings for morals, like we discussed with the Bible got changed. They introduced concepts to it. What I'm saying is, then there has to be something that transcends that. There has to be an objective source, not subjective, that people can, bribe, give money, change. There has to be something that is above that. Something that any person in the Amazon rainforest, in the tribes in certain African or Asian villages, there has to be something that is innate, that we can comprehend and understand. And that is when you look up, you realize that if there were lots of gods, we know that there's a creator, but if there were lots of gods, they will be fighting with each other. So there has to be logically one God. Okay, then there is a book. That book, should it be a book that can be changed? Yeah, maybe people can add in it. Then if it's from God, surely that book has to be the same that it was back in the days. How can you prove it? I can tell you carbon dating. We have manuscripts. The Muslims, being from the ancient religions, were the only ones that we have a manuscript dating to the time of preservation. Dating to the time of the Prophet, in fact. And we have the oldest manuscript, and it's here in the University of Birmingham, carbon dated by the University of Oxford. So we have evidences like this, the manuscript, exact one that was there, the exact one today. People that have memorized the Quran. And what language is the Quran? Arabic. Arabic, top 5 languages spoken on the planet. And the Quran is in Arabic. So Arabic is a live language. Jesus' language, Aramaic, is an endangered language. Not that many people speak Aramaic. But the question is, if this is from God, why is it that this language is not even being spoken if it's from God? And if God is taking care of everybody, that same language that He's using to communicate to us with, why is it endangered? Why is it going? Surely, if something is from God, it has to be preserved, has to be looked after, it has to make sense. Like the Prophet, we can tell you the sayings of the Prophet are preserved. I can give you evidence that the Prophet said this, and this is who heard it. For example, let me give you an example. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you miss the Asr prayer, so one of the 5 prayers that we pray, you have incurred a loss with regards to your family and your wealth. Imam Malik, he narrates this. Layth, he also narrates this. Hajjaj, he also narrates this. Ayub, he also narrates this. Sakhar, he also narrates this. So we don't just have one chain. We have numerous chains of different people that are saying the same thing. So that makes things more stronger. No one can come in and say there are 2 gods in Islam. There are 6 prayers in Islam. How many times a day do Muslims pray?
5 times.
In which month do Muslims fast every year? Ramadan. Where do Muslims, or in which month, or what is that called when Muslims do pilgrimage? Hajj. I can ask any sect to this. Yeah, he's given extra. If I ask a Christian, which Bible do you follow? They can't even agree on the Bible they follow. They can't even agree if Jesus is the Son of God, if Jesus is a prophet, if Jesus is a God. Which Bible? The Protestant Bible, the Catholic Bible, the Roman, the Russian Orthodox Bible, the Greek Orthodox Bible, the Ethiopian Bible. They have different books in there, 66 books,
There's
73 books.
uniformity, even on the direction, how we pray Muslims around all the planet is one direction.
Bible.
Yeah, 73 books.
Yeah, there should be one which was not found until yet.
Yeah. And the oldest manuscript they have in Christianity is 300 years after Jesus, the Codex Sinaiticus.
Yeah, and there's an older one, but they
Very small. Yeah, very small, called P52. It's like the size of a credit card. That's 100 years after Jesus. But we have manuscript dating to the time of the Prophet. We have sayings of the Prophet, manuscripts of that. One is in Berlin. The manuscript of the sayings of the Prophet, Sahifa of Hammam, it's in Berlin. The oldest manuscript of the Quran is here. I do this because it's in North, like in Birmingham, not in the sky. So it's in North Birmingham, yeah. So we have evidences like this. The Quran, I have evidence to you that we have that same language. When it comes to women, at a time, Islam came 1400 years ago. Islam was saying, 7th century Islam was saying, women don't have to take the surname of their husband. If, for example, you are a wife and you have a house, the husband is not allowed to ask for your house. Your house is your house. Your property is your property. This is unheard of 1400 years ago. Yeah, this is absolutely unheard of, because there were no women's rights, there were no lobbying groups, there were no marches. These rights were given to women 1400 years ago. The woman in Islam, the mother, there's a saying of the Prophet that says, paradise lies under the feet of the mother. A Sahih hadith, a companion narrates from the Prophet that the Prophet was asked, what are the best actions in Islam? He said, number one, praying at the correct time. And then number two, being respectful and dutiful to your parents. Parents, not man, not only the dad or the father, parents, the mother. And somebody asked the Prophet, with regards to who deserves my companionship, my time, said the mother. Said, who next? Your mother. Who next? Your mother. Who next? Your father. So this is the rights that are given to the mother. The woman, the lady. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you are not good to your women, the best of you are those that are good to their women. So that's how we're told. That's why you will see the man, he will go out. For me, I would never, I know some people, they say one of the conditions of marriage is the husband or the man is saying to the woman, I want you to go out and earn. She's like, no, but I don't want to. I say, no, you don't have to. In fact, it's my job. My job is to go out, to suffer, to do all of this. You stay at home and you look after the kids, the house. If we have to earn or something, I will take 2 jobs, I will take 3 jobs, I will look after you. Now, men are asked, they are asked that if the woman said that I will go to work, you stay at home and you do nothing, the men say, yes, we will take this, we will do this. And that's why when you ask the women, many of them, they say, yes, if somebody is saying he will earn for me, he will do this, he will look after me, he will do this for me, he will do that for me, I'll be more than happy. So that's why I said at the beginning, in Islam, the rights of the women are more so than what was there at the time and what is even there today as well. Because at that time when Islam gave the rights, later, about 1,000 years later, that's when women were allowed to vote. In fact, 300 years, in fact longer, in Europe they were debating if women even had souls, if they were even human beings. But Muslims were saying paradise lies under the feet of your mother. If you're not good to your wife, the best of the people are the ones that are good to their women folk. So when you're saying equal, I say you're aiming too low. I say we aim higher.
In the Quran, Allah says, "Al-rijalu ba'da bismillahir rahmanir rahim, al-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa." Means they are servants. Rijal, they are servants of women. Iqama man qama.
You have to go, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, no problem. So I just wanted to say that, the questions that you've asked, they're very good questions. And yeah, when it comes to these things, Islam has the answers. And when you look into Islam, you will realize this is the beauty of life. And when a person adopts Islam and they see Islam, you live life, but you appreciate life. Some people, they say, we are alive, but they are not living.
No, they are not living.
So in order to live,
Yeah.
one must appreciate existence. One must appreciate the fellow people and having an interaction like this. Like the fact that we are, I don't know if maybe I might not see you again. This is the only interaction. What did we talk about? We're talking about God, talk about religion, talk about values. This is the beauty of religion. It brings people close together. You're from Switzerland, I'm from the UK. You know, I've never seen you, you've never seen me. This is an example of religion bringing us together and uniting us under one God and one principle and one truth. So, yeah, nice to meet you guys. Take care. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Smile2jannah, how are you?
How are you, brother?
I got ice cream.
Hey, you're right.